Today we're getting rid of the old 3 on the tree that came factory in this 1977 F100, and we're installing an M50D 5-speed from a 1990s F150. Now this is our turbocharged Ford 300 inline 6, and since we turbocharged this thing, it's been begging for 2 more gears. And we need to get more miles out of this thing, and this thing doesn't do super well on the highway. Now to make this M50D work, all we have to do is upgrade the clutch from a 10-inch clutch to an 11-inch clutch, install the factory hydraulic slave cylinder setup from a 1990s F150, get a new drive shaft, a custom shifter, and a transmission cross member that we can use for pretty much any other transmission combination we want to run in the future. So let's get started. Before we rip everything apart, we're gonna go ahead and spray it down with this PB Blaster Clear. This stuff's supposed to be odorless, and when you're working underneath the cab, you're kind of locked in with the odors. So let's see how this stuff works. Oh yeah, that's what we like to see. Oh, there's fluid in there? No, I didn't, oh no. Get back in there. Okay, we need to finish taking the clutch fork out.
I'm just fucking with you.
Alright, get this cross member out. I had to lift the transmission up. I'm gonna wait. I might be able to get it out like this. That works. Get this big spring off. You know what? There you go. Pretty much time to get this bell housing off. All right, let's get some extensions. Let's get some little swizzies. Well, as you can tell, that was definitely the last one, because this thing wants to move now. Been on there for 50 years or something. Ow. Fine, I'll do it from the top. Okay. Now we gotta get this clutch apart. Oh, that was heavy. Only pinched my finger a little bit. Not that bad, huh? So the bolt holes on the flywheel are just not big enough for the new clutch. In hopes to not have to get a new flywheel, we're gonna drop this thing and see if we can make these holes just a bit bigger. It's gonna be a lot easier outside of the car. We're gonna drop this flywheel now. Slight problem with the clutch and the flywheel, but I'm getting it corrected. So you see this bolt hole right here? So this is the size bolt that goes in it. No problem, right? But then if you come on over to here, that is a different size. So we have to drill and tap them out. And there's 3 of them on here that need to be opened up to a bigger size. We've already started doing it. This one, and then the last one is right there. So we're gonna finish drilling and tapping this flywheel and get this thing back on. We only had to open it up 1 thread size, so it really wasn't that big of a deal. It went from, I think, 5/16 to like 3/8. Want to make sure you stop every so often and clean your tip out and continuously spray it. Because if you just keep running it down, it'll start to run into those metal shavings. Now, there's only 3 bolt holes we have to do. We've already done 2 of them. This is our last one. We got the flywheel drilled and tapped. We got the bolts cut down to the right size. Now we're ready to install the flywheel, the clutch, and get this transmission put in place. We're just gonna throw 2 bolts in it for now. And I gotta check something. We got all the bolts lined up, so we're gonna take them all out one by one, and we are going to Loctite them, and we will torque them down. Let's clean the surface a little bit with some brake clean and a rag. We need to clean here as well. Get all that grease and oil and stuff off of it. Yeah, look at that. So I couldn't get this transmission jack and the transmission in there. So I ended up building this little rig so I could lift the transmission high enough just so that I can get the transmission jack underneath it. And it worked. Look at that. Strapped in there pretty good. This little thing's pretty nice. See, let's pull this back a little bit. Because it's tilting upward. I'm scared I've got this thing backwards now I'm looking at it. But we're going to see if we can get it to work nonetheless. Yeah, it's a problem. And it's a problem because we're still kind of a good bit away from where it's supposed to be. And we haven't cut a hole out yet, but we don't want to cut a massive hole. Got all the bolts out. Let's smack this cross member out the way. As you can see right there, it's just right in the way. So. Okay. That little piece right there is hitting the top, and it's not going to allow me to go up and slide it in. We got to cut a hole out to get it up and slide in. I'm a little worried I might have to cut a bigger hole than I wanted, but we're going to try to get it as precise as possible. Okay, we are so close to having that thing up and in. So we're gonna get all the bolts in and see if we can just push it a little bit. And this is a slave cylinder we're going to be using. We're gonna drill a hole right there in the firewall. The slave cylinder is from Dorman Products. It should fit pretty nice. So let's get this thing installed. Now we got to get this push rod connected to the clutch. So we've got to drill a hole and put a little bolt through there, and this thing will be ready to go. So we've got the cross member in there, and it came with these little brackets right here. So we're gonna have to drill new holes right here on both sides so that we can bolt this bracket down. So for starters, I'm just gonna go ahead and draw a little box on the outside, just in case something gets flipped around. Close enough. Okay, now we can put that shifter in. Because, man, that was quite the pain. The new shifter is in, so that means it's a sad day, but this 3 in the tree needs to come out. That's the last thing holding this 3 in the tree. Then it's gone forever. Okay, so this thing will take 4 quarts of Mercon 5. This is about the best way I came up with doing it. So far, no spills. I just got one of the little squeeze caps from the differential fluid, but it's gonna take me a second, but 4 quarts will be filled, and then onto the drive shaft. I already installed the new drive shaft. This thing's actually pretty sick. Don't mind the shock mount, we gotta fix that next. It was $600 from Driveline 1, and it just makes me feel a little bit better. I don't have to worry about snapping a drive shaft. This thing's actually really well built. They build some pretty killer drive shafts. Now we need to fire it up. We need to check the clutch engagement, make sure everything's working good there. I think we're ready to take this thing on a drive. This thing kind of starts up rough, but hopefully it starts. Actually really good. I think we're ready to drive this thing. A little dark in here, but let's test this thing out. Okay. This thing is night and day different. Dude, this truck's actually like fun to drive. Oh, clutch break-in period, sorry. But dude, this thing's it's actually ripping pretty good. First gear's a little short, but that can be fixed with gearing. We still got to seal that little hole up there. Hopefully this isn't a bad decision, but we're just gonna go ahead and keep driving because this thing's actually running pretty good. First gear is super short. We gotta change the gears out still, but I'm doing quarter throttle. I know there's a break-in period on the clutch, but I'm excited. Dude, I should switch this thing over to E85. That was a hard shift. Okay, so this thing is actually running really good. It's a completely different truck with the 5-speed. Ripping up and down the road with this thing in the 5 gears. Like, I totally forgot that I even need to break the clutch in. I am just bang, 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 boom, dude. Oh, I'm so excited because the first initial drive went really good. So let's get it back to the house and we'll go over what we need to do and what do we think of it so far. This thing is so fun to drive with the 5-speed. It actually worked. I didn't even know if the transmission worked. I mean, I shifted it in the gears a little bit before buying it, but what good does that do? I was actually kind of ripping way harder than I should have because this clutch has like a 500-mile break-in period or something like that. And I should not have been driving it as hard as I was, but you know. But if that doesn't tell you how much fun I was having, then I don't know what does. Now, as of right now, there's nothing I would do differently if I was to start this swap over. It actually went way smoother than I thought. And if you got an F100 that you're looking to upgrade the transmission on a budget, I think the M50D so far is a pretty good setup. The gearing felt good. The only thing I have to complain about is the fact that first gear is super short and it definitely seems a little revved out quicker than I would like it. I think we're going to go ahead and switch the rear gears, which is fine with me because we need to put a posi track differential in this thing anyways. So switching out the gears isn't going to be that big of a deal. We've got a rear shock we need to fix, and let's be honest, the shocks need redone anyways. So in the next video, we're gonna actually put some miles on this M50D. We might see what the miles per gallon is, but overall, we're just wanting to see, is this thing worth it? So far, I think so. But thank you guys for watching Hood Billy Garage. I'm Gilk the Great, and we'll see you next time.